a pretty good sleep actually, which is quite rare for an overnight train. So I've just come from Chengdu. If you've seen my other videos in Chongqing and Chengdu, then you'll know about my journey around China so far. If you haven't, then check those out first before you check this one out. If you're interested in seeing it like a travel series, but if you're just interested in seeing Xi'an, then just watch this video. Just arriving into Xi'an South. I'm now in Xi'an, somewhere in Xi'an. So I arrived in Xi'an South Station, which is in the middle of nowhere. When I came out of the station, there was taxi drivers everywhere trying to get me to take their taxi. So the first guy said to me, "E-buy kwai, 100 kwai for a taxi to the nearest metro station in the southernmost point of Xi'an. 100 kwai, which is over £10. And I was like, no way, no way. So I had to take my luggage out of his boot. I went to the next guy and he was like, 50 kwai, 50 kwai. I was like, nah, it's still too much, I think. Eventually I went to a third guy. We settled on 40 and to take me halfway into Xi'an to the center. So now I'm halfway in Xi'an, so I'm just gonna take the metro. All right, I've just come out of my hostel, settled down, had a shower, shaved, and just freshened up a little bit after going over 24 hours in this heat without shower. Directly behind me, that is the bell tower, which is right in the center of the ancient wall that runs like a square around the outside, which is really famous in China. Okay, I just had some lunch inside in some shade. As you can see, the sun is directly above me. It's absolutely beating down at the moment, so there's no way I'm gonna cycle along the wall just yet. So I'm gonna head to the bell tower because there's some shade there, and then I can get a cool view of the city center from going up there. Now on top of the bell tower, you can see just behind me, if you look far enough, the south gate for the city wall. So there's one road on each side, south, west, north and east. So there's two tiers to the bell tower. I'm on the second tier at the moment. If you stare at the traffic for long enough, it looks like a strange illusion of cars kind of floating around you in a whirlpool kind of fashion. The top tier of the bell tower is much better than the bottom tier. You get a much better view of the city on all four sides. So I'm walking down one of the off-roads just beside the inside of the south gate, which you saw from the bell tower earlier. So it's a pretty quiet street because it's so hot. I think people don't want to come out in the sun. It's so nice when there's not as many tourists around. You definitely notice the difference when you're so used to being around people everywhere. There's lots of shops, interesting things on sale. Sometimes in China, a lot of places might have lost their way a bit because they're always trying to make money and they don't really care about the culture, whereas here it's really evident, like the culture still exists. Chongqing and Chengdu in Sichuan are famous for the hot weather, but today it's 39 degrees and tomorrow the high is 40 degrees and the day after that 41 degrees, which is the hottest weather I've ever experienced in my life. If I'm going to take on this city wall, then I need to do it in the evening. That wall is just so long. I'm looking at it now with no shade in 39 degrees. I mean, it's a death sentence. I had a word with the woman at the ticket office, and the bicycles and the wall itself are open until 10 o'clock tonight. So I will come back at night time when it's dark, when it's much cooler. I'm not going to get sunburnt. And I reckon it'll be better at night time as well. It'll be amazing to see all the city around with the lights on. Cool. I'm now gonna find a different attraction in Xi'an to go to. I've made my way to Xi'an's Muslim street. This is the Muslim quarter of the city, beside the drum tower. It's a long street. It's Chinese meets Middle Eastern in a bizarre mix. There's a lot of places to choose from. One road there, one here, this way. gonna try one of these kebabs. The meat's quite tough. It's been in the sun all day, hopefully it's not gonna kill me. Inside there's some leek, onion, I think some kind of meat, either pork or beef, I can't tell. This is doing a good job filling me up and it only cost me 6 kwai, so that is 70-80p. This one I just bought, it tastes so weird. It's got like a pickly flavour, but it's also sweet. Bizarre. I'm not sure if I like it. Still in the Muslim quarter, but this time I'm on a different street. This one's a bit more narrow and dim, and the buildings are overhanging. In the last shot you could see from the entrance all the way down, it looks like the start of some weird explosion of culture. I can't quite explain it, but it looks really strange because the street was really quiet, there was nothing going on. And then you just have the entrance to the street and then suddenly there's so much happening, lights and food, people. Like how are you supposed to walk on the path? Someone honks and then you have to move out of the way. Alright, Muslim hall is pretty insane. I'm going to go back to the wall pretty soon. I've been walking around quite a lot, chill for a bit, and then when it's dark, a bit cooler, head over to the city wall. I'm now on the top of the wall, which looks amazing with all the lights on. Quite surreal I'm here. Kind of like how I'm going to feel when I go to the Great Wall of China and a few other places in Beijing, because I've always seen them, and then when I'm here it's weird to finally realise like I've finally visited the place I've always wanted to go. The wall itself is quite low. If I slip the wrong way, I could easily fall off. It costs 50 kwai to rent a bicycle. I have 150 kwai in my wallet, but there's also a 200 kwai deposit on top of that to rent a bicycle. And without the deposit, they won't let you do it. But there was no warning before I came on the wall, or anywhere on the wall did they mention anything about a deposit. So I had no idea, so I couldn't prepare for it. I've done so much walking the last few days that all my muscles have started to cramp up and my knees are sore, because I've been to obviously Chongqing, Chengdu, now Xi'an, and Shanghai before that, doing a lot of walking around. So I've resorted to wearing my running shoes. I need to be more careful with overdoing it. I always put too much on my plate and I never do everything. So I'm gonna chill a bit more in the next few days. I've still got to go to Beijing, the Great Wall. Tomorrow I'm going to the Terracotta Army, which involves like quite a bit of walking as well. I do say overdo it, I mean being unrealistic, having 5 or 6 attractions on my list and trying to do them in 2 days. And that's not even 2 days, sometimes that's one day the morning I arrive, and then the next day in the evening I take an overnight train. But in Beijing I have longer, I have 4 days, so I'll be able to chill a bit more there. Alright, I'm just going to enjoy the rest of my evening stroll.